Start spreading the news. Yeah, join in if you know it. Leaving today. I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes. Oh, just stepped in some poo. Okay, so I never, ever thought in a billion years that I would say this. But I, Rogan, middle name and last name withheld, am officially done with New York City. This hurts me deep. Woo! It was smelling something terrible up in there. I'm the director, producer, writer, so let's get it poppin'. Alright kiddies, welcome back to my channel. Y'all know my name? Y'all don't know my name yet? Rogan. Do not call me Rogan. Hey Rogan, how are you, Rogan? Who's Rogan? We met back in California, remember? My name ain't no Rogan. Anyway kiddies, welcome back to my channel, your ultimate guide to the Bahamas and Washington DC. I am Rogan. Yes kiddies, it brings me great distress to say these things today. I don't even know where to begin. This breaks my heart in 50 billion little pieces. This breaks my heart. Everyone and anyone who knows me, and I always say this, they know I love me some New York City. For as long as I can remember, I've been in love with New York. I've been going to New York since I was in the single digits. My godfather took me there. He flew me there on his plane. It was like years ago. And since then, I've always been in absolute awe and wonder of this city. I just think it's just so fantastic. You know, you see it in the movies and it just seems larger than life. You go into Times Square, even if you see it on television, you're like in complete awe at how beautiful the place is, how lit it is. Literally lit, figuratively lit, lots of people. But this trip, and I went there for my birthday this past, my birthday was on August 29th. Shout out to all the Virgos. Went there to the city and I was like, I'm just so excited to go to New York. So excited to go to New York. I remember even like when I was driving into New York, just putting on like Frank Sinatra's New York, New York. Like that's how serious it was for me. Beautiful skyline up ahead. I'm driving into New York. This is so exciting. And then I get there and it's like, oh, I can't wait to get out of the car. I just can't wait to get out of the car. I haven't been here in a couple of years. I think New York will always have a special place in my heart, but there are some things that I absolutely detest. There are things I absolutely hate about New York City. So this week, I thought I would bring you 8 things I absolutely hate about New York City. Let's go. When I lived there for 3 months, I lived in Harlem for 3 months. I had a great time. I didn't have all these experiences, or maybe I was so caught up in the city and just so in love that I just did not see through it. Like I didn't see through like the awe and the wonder. And now my eyes are like wide open. And I want to also apologize to Washington DC. Yes, the whole district, because I did a video, and if you guys haven't seen it, it's right up here. I did a video where I said I really wasn't feeling Washington DC and that New York was always like my favorite place to live. I mean, I want to apologize. This is my apology to Washington DC. I am so sorry, because after visiting New York, I could not wait to run back to you. And this is this sinner's prayer, and I hope and pray you, Washington DC, forgive me. If you can find it in your heart to forgive me. So let's go. These are my 8 things I hate about New York City. This is in no particular order, but I'm going to start here. Number 1, it is so damn crowded. Okay, I know you have heard this 1,000 times, okay? You probably heard it 10,000 times about New York being crowded, but it really is so freaking packed. And especially, now I'm a bit of a hypochondriac, and if somebody coughs next to me, this is even before the pandemic, I immediately start feeling like I'm getting sick. I can feel it in my throat, and I feel like all their germs have just entered my nostrils and into my throat, my esophagus. It's in me and now it's taken over. That's just me. Okay, now that you've established that I'm crazy, let me say that in a pandemic, it's even worse, okay? So there are tons and tons of people around, and they are all so close. And I must say though, a lot of the New Yorkers, or the people who were in New York anyway, they were wearing their masks. I must give them props for that. There, of course, were a few people who weren't, but the vast majority of people were wearing their masks. But it was just so crowded, so congested that it felt like a bit of a relief just to get on a side street where there weren't many people. It's just so congested. And I remember like going to New York a couple times with my brother. Shout out to my brother Rashad. And he always was like, I just can't take all these people. We're island people, so we always have space. We always have space. And it's just so congested. I was like, oh, that's part of the draw. That's part of the draw for New York. Now that I'm getting older, it's like, I don't want you next to me. Please move. Move. So it's just a little too overcrowded for moi. I see the garbage over here. I see the garbage over there. I see the garbage all over the place, baby. It is damn dirty, and there's tons of garbage everywhere. It is really dirty. Listen, I get like caught up in how beautiful like the buildings are and the skyscrapers, but let me tell you something. After my eyes start to go down towards the ground, it's so dirty. Like honestly, like I felt myself having to, rather than watch like straight ahead, I had to keep my eyes on the ground because I almost stepped in vomit. I almost stepped in garbage. I almost stepped in poop. And I don't even know if it was human poop or dog poop. And maybe I spent a little bit too much time trying to figure out which one it was. But either way, it was poop every couple feet. What's that about? There were even like needles on the ground. Going to the subway, coming outside the hotel, needles. And I know damn well it wasn't getting no COVID vaccine. So you have to be prepared to see all that too in New York City. New York City! It's just really, really dirty. A lot of the restaurants and businesses is like, I don't know. I didn't see like a lot of alleys where they could take their trash out to the alleys. So they would just put it right at the front of the business. So I remember going for like a dollar pizza at this restaurant, and like the garbage is like right in the front. And that's just not even like the restaurants, like regular businesses, just their trash is like right out to the front. I never seen nothing like that in my life. I don't even remember that the years ago when I was living in Harlem. That is freaking nuts. Lots of garbage, lots of dirty needles, lots of poop, lots of cigarette butts. What else? Oh, lots of vomit. I wanted to throw my shoes away. That's how bad it was. Like I literally was like, I'm ready to throw these damn shoes away. They're so nasty. This is why you don't bring shoes in the house. Leave them outside or leave them far, far, far. Do not bring them inside your house. That's my rant for the day. There are tons and tons and tons of homeless people. Now, I still say California holds the record because I've never seen anything like that. That's like an apocalypse out there, okay? That's like zombie wasteland out there. But New York, I remember a time when it seemed like it was kind of like settling down, but it seems like it's just risen right back up again because there wasn't a spot, no, maybe one spot I went to. Maybe one spot, and that was around the New York University campus area. I didn't see any homeless people while I was out there. And that's not to say they weren't there. I just didn't see them that time. But like in the major areas, like there are so many homeless people, and they're not like just in like tents or anything like that. These people are like lying outside, lying on the floor, like out in the open, sleeping or whatever. Like it looked like people would just walk right by and not give it a second glance. I guess they're accustomed to it, but it's like, how do we even know this person isn't even dead on the floor? Like, I remember just seeing somebody's feet poking out from like a blanket. I was like, this person could literally be dead and we don't even know. Like, this is just what it is. And I think I mentioned in my video about on Washington too, how it really disturbs me to see, like, I don't like people to be homeless, period. My heart breaks for that, right? And I didn't record any of the homeless people because it's not like it was just like the tents I was recording. They were literally out on the floor and I didn't want to record it. Okay? But they just were everywhere. You could step outside of like a fancy hotel and they're there. You step outside a high-class restaurant, they're there. You step outside like some of these condos, they were like in the millions of dollars. Like you step right outside and they're right there. You go into Times Square, they're there. You go into Soho, they're there. They're everywhere. And I mentioned in my Washington, D.C. video how I hate the fact that I live literally in a district which is like the seat of power. And we have so many people around who are homeless, so many people who just don't have. And that bothers me because this is America. Like I just expect better. I just expect better. But in New York has so many wealthy people, so many wealthy organizations, so many wealthy corporations. It's just like, I felt like I was living Phil Collins' Paradise lyrics as I walked through New York City. Oh, think twice, it's just another day for you and me in paradise. Like, she calls out to the man on the street, sir, can you help me? Like, you will literally go broke walking through New York, Manhattan. Let me speak specifically for Manhattan. Walking through Manhattan, and just because every time you pass somebody, you're giving money, you're helping somebody out, you go broke. It's nuts. So if you're not somebody who's interested in like seeing all the homeless people, like, you know, or being harassed, or, you know, you might want to skip New York entirely. This is like a pandemic. The homelessness in this country is a pandemic, epidemic, whatever. Ick. I already knew that parking was scarce on Manhattan, but damn, it really is scarce. And not only that, when you do find parking, it's super expensive. I mean, I'm not telling a lot of you things you don't know, because you definitely know that parking is expensive, but I mean, it's really, really costly. And now I see why a lot of New Yorkers just rely on the subway system. It's like, because who can afford to be parking all the time? And then if you're coming out of the city, you got to be paying all these tolls. But anyway, the parking is just too costly. I mean, I guess it's a scarcity thing. You know, it's only a few parking decks or whatever. I don't know how many they have on the whole island, but yeah, parking is super expensive. I drove down there and I found a good parking deck. Thank you, Jesus. Which was reasonable to me. Thank you, Jesus. Rogie couldn't be paying too much money for parking. It's just, yeah. I know I mentioned earlier that it is dirty and there's lots of garbage. And so that leads me to my next point about how it smells so bad. I've never, ever, ever been to a place where the air is just so stink. And it smells like pee the whole time. Like, you know, you wake up in the morning wherever you live. I don't know where you guys live, right? But I know that I wake up in the morning, I walk outside and it's like fresh air. It's like, I can smell the trees, I can smell the dew, you know, it just smells fresh. You literally walk out early in the morning and all you smell is piss. It just smells like a pissy mattress. A pissy mattress that's been pissed on for like 16 years, consistently. New York smells like a pissy mattress that's been pissed on for 16 years consistently. I mean, morning, noon, and night piss. That's the smell. And then there's always that little waft of poop smell. And again, I don't know if it's from like the dogs or humans or what. Then there's the garbage. It's the rodents. They all contribute to the smell. It's just, and then it's in a concrete jungle. And then it's really hot. It's just so stinky poo. I could smell it in my nose. I could taste it. I come right back. I could smell it in my nose. I could smell New York in my nose. It stinks. Let's talk about the excellent customer service that New Yorkers give. I went into several restaurants, and first of all, I don't know if like their bosses told them not to make eye contact with the customers, but they don't make eye contact. I remember like I had a server and she was like, what do you want to order? She had like a French accent, so she clearly isn't like American, right? But I guess she got that attitude, that New York attitude, because she just was like, what do you want to order? I was like, let me get the Angry Orchard and let me get the pasta. She don't make no eye contact. They don't make no eye contact. And never came back and wasn't polite, nothing. And that was like a common thread, like at different restaurants. I think maybe the best service I had was from like a dollar pizza stand. Yeah. I went in a couple restaurants, but the best service I got was from a dollar pizza stand. The guys were nice. They ain't from New York. But the customer service sucks. So if you're expecting friendly smiles and, hi, you know, thanks for coming in, and Child, please. I remember even being in New York where, like, if a customer has a complaint, like, just certain things that you don't do, right? Like, I'm from the Bahamas, so when a customer is complaining, to you, whatever, you don't curse them. You don't curse them back. Like New Yorkers, they don't care. They will curse you back. I've been in like shoe stores where like a customer will say, you're rude, and all of a sudden the F-bomb drops. I'm like, what the heck? I thought the customer was always right, which I don't believe, but you know what I mean. It's like, did it warrant all of that? Did it warrant you cussing the person out? It's like, whew, that's how y'all doing it up north. Wee-wee. Take me below the Mason-Dixon line. Yeah, so the customer service, it's not good from what I've experienced. Obviously, I didn't go in every restaurant. I didn't go in every store, but it was just bad. It was just bad. But I don't think they care. New York is New York. The tourists are going to come regardless. People want to be there, so they don't have a reason to clean up their act. Literally or figuratively. Ugh. Next. I try my hardest to not give eye contact when I'm in New York or engage. I keep my eyes on the ground, and that's twofold because I don't want to engage. I don't want to give any eye contact, but I also want to see if I'm going to step and vomit or poop. I almost stepped in vomit, and it was not nice. But the minute you make eye contact with somebody is, hey, gorgeous. Hey, queen. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I hate not being friendly. I honestly, I hate not saying hi. Oh, okay. I hate that because I naturally am that person that's just like, if you say, hey, sweetheart, I'll be like, hi, how you doing? But then they're not hailing me. We say hailing in the Bahamas. They're not saying hi to me just to be nice. It's an in. It's an in to get me to buy something. Hey, queen. Wow, you look real nice today. Woo, you got your camera, huh? Taking lots of good photos. What you took photos of today? Huh? You look real nice, ma. Listen, let me show you these Gucci bags. Yeah, I don't pay them no mind. When they say New York City is the city that never sleeps, it's hustle city, and that if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. I'm a firm believer in all three of those things. If you can make it in New York, you really truly can make it anywhere because it's a constant competition for business, constant competition for attention, constant competition for whatever. Someone is always selling something and they don't let up. They will follow you for blocks and blocks to get you to buy something. I don't want no fake Gucci bag, bro. So it is hustle city. Listen, there's a big part of me that will always, always have an affinity, a love for New York City because it really is the city to me of dreams. But it's got some drawbacks, man. And I this time on my birthday, I really went there with like eyes wide open about everything. And I did not enjoy what I saw. Did I have a good time? Sure, I had a good time. There were so many wonderful places to see and so many things to do. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time I'd come out of doing some of those wonderful things, I'd step outside and take a whiff and be like, okay, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. So if you're traveling to New York, please, I can't remember which comedian said this, and he said it in relation to another place, but he said, pack an extra pair of nostrils because you're going to need it. I know that there are some native New Yorkers who are going to come on this video and they're going to be like, who she thinks she is to be talking about my spot? They're going to be real mad. I fully expect it. But here's the thing. I'm from the Bahamas, and yes, I'm very territorial and protective of my country. I'm from Nassau. I'm territorial and protective of Nassau. As much as I criticize Nassau, I'm very protective of it. But here's the thing about me. If someone speaks truth about Nassau or the Bahamas, I'd be like, let me shut up on this one because they have a point. They're right. So that's fine if you get upset about me saying the place smells like hot garbage. But if you can refute it, if you could say, oh, it doesn't. I mean, like, just be honest about your assessment. Like, you could come at me all you want, but be honest in your heart. Because it's hard to say, we don't have no homeless people, because you do have it. You can't say, oh, parking ain't expensive, because it is expensive. You can't say, oh, the people ain't rude, everybody ain't rude. I guess that's debatable. But the majority of people who I've dealt with and native New Yorkers have said, they are rude. They're very rude. I'm going to hold off on New York for a while. Usually I'd be like, every time I want to take a trip, I'll be like, oh, I got to go to New York, got to go to New York, got to go to New York, Charlie, got to go to New York. But I'm going to hold off on that for a while and go somewhere else where I don't have to pack an extra pair of nostrils. Anyway, it did not ruin my birthday. I still had a great time. I took a lot of great pictures, which you guys will see in the coming weeks on my Instagram. So be sure to stay tuned to my Instagram at thisbahamiangyal. Hit me up with questions or comments on Facebook at thisbahamiangyal. And of course, follow me on my blog at www.thisbahamiangyal.com. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for watching. Happy birthday to moi. And to anybody else out there who was born on August 29th, you know, like, first of all, August is the best month of the year, period. Period. Okay? And August 29th is the best day of the year, period. And if you're a Virgo, we know that we're the best in the zodiac. Who could come in second? Nobody, because nobody even comes close to us, so they'd have to come third. And that's all I have to say. I know y'all gonna cuss me out. It's okay. I'm Rogan. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on This Bahamian Gyal. Love you guys, and see you. Be safe. Mwah.
Pack an extra pair of nostrils for New York
If you're heading there this weekend. Ugh. Bye.